When it comes to evaluating positional depth charts, your New England Patriots might just want to put safety first. Stick around. You're about to be locked in to the Locked On Patriots podcast.
You are Locked On Patriots, your daily New England Patriots podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello to all of you Foxborough faithful. Thank you once again for making Locked On Patriots a daily part of your New England Patriots coverage. Don't forget, Locked On Patriots is a proud part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. So subscribe or follow for free on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts to listen to the latest episode as soon as it's available. I am your host, Mike Debate, and I cover your New England Patriots for Patriots Country of Sports Illustrated. So reach out to me and let me know what's on your mind on Twitter at MDABATENFL. And while you're out there showing some love to the Twitterverse, please be sure to follow the Locked On Patriots account as well at LO_Patriots. And folks, if you are thready, meaning that you are on the Threads app, you can definitely give me a follow there as well at MikeDebate_NFL. Pats fans, with training camp on the horizon, it is time to take a look into the Patriots' positional depth charts, and we will be doing so to get you ready for training camp as we kick off today's show in the defensive backfield. All of you everydayers out there know that the defensive backfield is a position near and dear to my own heart. We're going to be taking a look at the safeties today, hence the term safety first. So few, if any, teams than your New England Patriots place as high of a premium on employing a strong defensive backfield. Most of the time during his tenure, it's worked out here. Now, whether it be cornerback or safety, you know as well as I do that the Patriots pride themselves on fielding a secondary that is capable of playing intelligent, conservative football while blending the ability to aggressively make plays. Sounds so easy, doesn't it? But we all know it's not that easy, because even though the cornerbacks and the safeties are well trained, the Patriots gain the tools they need in training camp to make their secondary as prolific as possible. And their cornerbacks are going to garner much of the attention during training camp. And that's largely in part to Christian Gonzalez being the Patriots' number 17 overall pick in the 2023 NFL Draft. But the depth chart at safety is going to be stocked once again with versatility and a lot of potential in this upcoming season. So with the Patriots set to report for their first training camp practice on July 26th, here is a look at three, well, maybe four, I'm cheating a little bit here, folks, but three potential safeties that I think are not only going to catch a sharp eye this summer, but also play a major role in helping to shape this positional depth chart. And the first is Kyle Dugger. There's no question about it, folks. He's been heralded as the future star of the Patriots' defensive backfield. In fact, you might make the assumption that he's already there. 15 games played in 2022, 78 total tackles, 5 of which went for a loss, 8 passes defensed, 3 interceptions, 2 of which he returned for touchdowns. And oh yeah, he had a fumble recovery for a score as well. That's a very impressive resume, but Kyle Dugger's value to this team is so much deeper than that, folks. His knowledge of the Patriots' defensive schemes means he's likely to take on a leadership role for New England's defense, especially in light of longtime team captain Devin McCourty's retirement. McCourty always knew how to keep guys in position. He knew the Patriots' defense so well that not only did he realize where he needed to be at all times, he also realized where his teammates needed to be. From those that I've talked to in the room close to Kyle, he's been a student of the Patriots defense since walking through the doors at Gillette Stadium. He knows the nuances. He knows the players' capabilities, their strengths, their weaknesses, where they need to be, and how they need to execute. And that, to me, is why Kyle Dugger is going to be the alpha in this safety room this year. He brings an excellent blend of speed, length, size to New England's defensive backfield. To me, he's proficient in both big nickel, the 5 defensive back looks, and also the dime when they play 6 defensive backs. But when he's at his best, he's covering a lot of ground in that secondary. He's got the tools to match up with tight ends and receiving backs out of the backfield. That's where he's really at his strongest. But bottom line, he's also very good in coverage as well. He's a great tackler. He's capable of making key stops in key situations. And again, I keep coming back to this, but it is that important, folks. He shows such a deep understanding of the Patriots playbook. And as a result, I think Duggar should be expected to see considerable playing time as a strong safety, along with some situational snaps as the deep man. And you might see him play a little free as well with Devin McCourty. Even though he's at his best as a box or a strong, I still think Kyle Duggar has the ability to be the leader in that safety group this year. Now, not to rain on the parade at all, folks, but we all know that Kyle is set to be a free agent at the end of the season. Spent 3 years with the Patriots so far. This is his 4th year. And as we just discussed, he's looking to build off of his already impressive resume and parlay that into maybe his best season as a pro in 2023. Just as New England's going to be trying to fill that void left by Devin McCourty. So even with his contract situation up in the air, Kyle is keeping his focus on what takes place on the field. And once again, this is a feather in his cap to be able to block out the contractual noise and be able to focus on what he needs to do. And he made that very point to reporters during mandatory minicamp when we spoke with him last month, saying, quote, "That's not on my mind, but I definitely enjoy playing for this organization." And I think we can all breathe a sigh of relief that Kyle Duggar likes being in New England. But will it be enough to keep him here? Can the Patriots and Kyle Duggar come to a contractual happy medium to keep him in a uniform for quite some time? I know Patriots fans all over the place want to make that happen. Can the Pats and Kyle Duggar come to that agreement? So Duggar's contract is going to certainly be something worth watching within the next days, weeks. Most likely, it'll carry over into next offseason. I don't see these two sides coming to an extension prior to the start of the season, and I think that the Patriots would probably shelve this until after the season. Very seldom do they go into the year working on contract extensions, but we've seen it happen before. And if there's someone that the Patriots might want to maybe bend the rules a little bit for in order to keep him in-house, Kyle Duggar is certainly worth it. There's no question about it. And the Patriots need playmakers like him, not only in 2023, but also into 2024 and beyond. Now, one thing I think could be worth watching is the Patriots' decision to draft Marte Mapu. Marte is listed as a linebacker, and that's where he fits best within New England's system, especially if Duggar is going to remain here long term. But he has a lot of experience from his time at Sacramento State playing the safety position. Like Duggar, he's a very hard hitter. He's versatile in coverage. And most importantly, he's a very quick study. He's going to pick up the Patriots playbook and all of its unique nuances, and he's going to do it much sooner than people realize. He's already turning heads in that department just in the limited time he spent in the Patriots locker room to this date. Now, let me be clear. I don't think Mapu was brought to New England to replace Duggar, but if the Pats lose him, Mapu may be the one guy that they turn to in order to fill Kyle's shoes. I, for one, would love to see them both have a long reign in this defense for many years to come. But if Duggar is going to be the primary option and he's not going to be here much longer, Mapu could be someone to keep an eye on. So definitely watch that, folks. But if Kyle is the primary option this year in the secondary, who's going to fill those supplemental roles? Well, in just a moment, we're going to take a look at who might settle into that spot and who might give that man a little bit of assistance. Talking Jabril Peppers and Jalen Mills when this episode of the Locked On Patriots podcast continues right here on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Locked On listeners, our partners at eBay Motors have teamed up with Locked On Fantasy Football host Vinny Iyer to bring you some of the best fantasy picks each week, all season long. Whether you're prepping for the draft or scouting the waiver wire, every week we're going to provide you players that are guaranteed to fit on your roster. So with draft preparation underway for the upcoming season, let's see who Vinny has picked out for us on this week's eBay's Guaranteed Fit Fantasy Picks of the Week. When making the first overall pick in fantasy football drafts in 2023, 49ers running back Christian McCaffrey is a guaranteed fit. A healthy McCaffrey is guaranteed to see well more than the 300 touches in his first season in San Francisco, and he's the centerpiece of the 49ers offensive engine. McCaffrey checks all the boxes, including his talent, his usage, his high floor, and his ceiling. So run with CMC as the guaranteed fit at number one for a smooth ride to another year of big numbers. And folks, Vinny Iyer from Locked On Fantasy Football is going to help you win your fantasy championship. And eBay Motors knows a championship team is about each player being a perfect fit, the same with your vehicle. With eBay Guaranteed Fit and over 122 million parts and accessories right at your fingertips, you can make sure your ride stays running smoothly. Air filters, batteries, shock struts, you name it, eBay Motors has it. And they'll make sure it's the right fit for your car because eBay Guaranteed Fit helps you understand exactly what part you need for your vehicle the first time. So go forth, switch gears, crank the AC, and say goodbye to sweating because now you know you'll always be set up for success from the get-go. For all the parts and accessories that fit your vehicle, just look for the green check. Get the right parts, the right fit, and the right prices at ebaymotors.com. Let's ride. eBay Guaranteed Fit, only available to U.S. customers. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply. Patriots fans, thank you for making Locked On Patriots a daily part of your New England Patriots coverage and, of course, your first listen every day. And as we evaluate the safety position, it's important to remember the supporting roles, those guys that are going to be providing help to who we all believe is going to be the alpha in the room, and that's Kyle Duggar. Well, my choice as the top reserve in the Patriots safety depth chart is Jabril Peppers. And I don't think there's a really big surprise here. A lot of you are probably nodding and saying, yeah, okay, I can see that. Peppers is definitely someone that can come in and give the Patriots a lot of pop off the bench. Brief yet impressive first season in New England last year. Signed a 2-year, $9 million contract to remain with the Patriots, and he did that this offseason. So the Patriots clearly liked what they saw on the field from Jabril enough to bring him back. Had the ACL tear derailing his 2021 season with the New York Giants. A lot of people feel that's why the Patriots were able to get him in here for an affordable deal on a prove-it year, and apparently he proved all he needed. Played in all 17 games for New England last year after coming off of an ACL tear. That's a very good sign for a guy with an injury history. Took a total of 398 snaps. He played safety, played a little bit of linebacker in passing situations, and he teamed up with McCourty, Duggar, and Phillips to form a very productive quartet of Patriots in the team secondary. Recorded 52 tackles, missing just one tackle all year long, and he even recovered a fumble. So Jabril Peppers is someone that can definitely make things work, and he can make things work to his advantage. And I don't think the Patriots' interest in keeping him in New England should really be that much of a shock. It really shouldn't. Bottom line, over the course of his 6-year NFL career, this is a guy that's played all over the formation. He's aligned at safety. He's aligned in the box, in the free, wideout cornerback, slot cornerback, hybrid linebacker. He's even taken some snaps along the defensive line. You want to talk jack of all trades? Jabril Peppers is definitely up there on this list. And with McCourty having announced his retirement, Peppers' role becomes even more prevalent, especially when you consider the fact that Kyle Duggar is going to have to take on more of a leadership role. Now you're looking at support coming from guys like Jabril, and maybe even Jalen Mills, who is expected to play an increased role at safety in 2023. I'll tell you what, we'll come back to that one in a moment. But with regard to Peppers and what he brings to the team, I look for him to be a force in this secondary. And don't be a bit surprised if you see him take some snaps at special teams. Even in the return game, the Patriots are serious about trying to give Marcus Jones a little rest, and they don't feel like some of the young guys like Amir Speed or possibly Isaiah Bolden might get the nod at kick returner. Well, you can definitely see Jabril Peppers doing it. He's done a great job on both kick and punt returns in the past. 117 returns on both throughout his career. So Jabril Peppers will reserves in 2023. Now, I mentioned Jalen Mills a little earlier, and I know the situation surrounding Jack Jones right now has a lot of people concerned and wondering whether Jalen Mills is going to have to play some outside perimeter cornerback. My best guess says that he may play some, but I don't think he's going to play nearly the amount he played last year, especially with the emergence of Christian Gonzalez, someone like Jonathan Jones who's capable of playing the other side perimeter, and then you've got Miles Bryant and Marcus Jones splitting time in the slot. If Jack Jones is back, Jalen Mills is free to move to the safety position, and I believe that's exactly what he will do. If Jack Jones is not back, then you have a situation where you might see Jalen float a little bit. But I do believe, at the very least, you're going to see him take snaps at the safety position. And some people are a little squeamish on this. Don't forget, he did a pretty good job as a serviceable perimeter corner last year. 31 tackles, 5 pass breakups, intercepted 2 passes. He held opposing quarterbacks to completing only 27 of 45 for 333 yards when he was targeted. So Mills can clearly play perimeter cornerback very well, but I think the Patriots are intrigued by what he can bring to them at the safety position. Don't forget, if he does return to safety, it would be a return to a position where he had his best statistical season as a pro. As a member of the Philadelphia Eagles in 2020, 74 combined tackles, 1.5 sacks, 1 interception, while aligning mostly in the box or at free safety. If Mills sees the majority of his time working with Duggar, Peppers, maybe even Joshua Bledsoe finds a way onto this roster, he may indeed be poised for that positional switch. It's going to be very important to watch where Jalen has taken the majority of his snaps in training camp. That's something I'll be watching closely, and that's something we'll be able to pick on fairly quickly. I think within the first few days, you're going to start to see the Patriots tip their hand a little bit about where these guys might be aligning. So, as always, keep it right here to Locked On Patriots, and we'll give you the very latest. But if Peppers and Mills are going to be situational options, who's going to be the jack of all trades in the backfield? Well, we already hinted that Jabril Peppers can do it a little bit, but if you've been a long time everydayer out there, yeah, you can see the smile on my face. You know who I'm talking about. We're going to wrap up the day in just a moment talking Adrian Phillips when this episode of the Locked On Patriots podcast continues. Patriots fans, I always appreciate you spending some time here on Locked On Patriots today. And folks, we're just getting started on Patriots positional previews to get you ready for training camp. Tomorrow here on the pod, we take a look at the cornerback position from Christian Gonzalez through Isaiah Bolden and everyone in between. Stay locked into Locked On Patriots as we continue to get you ready for the Patriots' first training camp practice coming up on Wednesday, July 26th. But as we conclude our thoughts on the safeties, you really didn't think I was going to end the pod without talking some Adrian Phillips, did you? Folks, for those of you that are new listeners or casual listeners, before I started covering the Patriots, I had the good fortune of covering the San Diego and Los Angeles Chargers. And Adrian Phillips was a guy that I automatically believed would make a phenomenal Patriot one day. I looked at his ability in special teams, the chances that he had and the opportunities that he had to align all over the defensive backfield. He just looked like that Swiss Army knife that Bill Belichick loves to employ. When the Patriots brought him in, I had a grin from ear to ear. And Adrian, in my opinion, has been everything I've hoped for as advertised and more. One might be hard-pressed to find a better player than Phillips to personify the team's versatility. I know the Patriots are noted for a lot of versatile weapons. Matthew Judon called some of the Patriots' defensive players unicorns because they can go anywhere within this defense and play well and play at a high level. But Phillips is a guy that since he arrived in New England really is making his impact all over the field. Most of us thought when they brought him in, he was going to be a contributor on special teams. After all, his background really stems from All-Pro honors in special teams in 2018 as a member of the Chargers. But even though Adrian earned All-Pro honors as a Charger in 2018, his biggest impact here in New England has been on the defensive side of the ball. He settled into that star role in the Patriots defense in 2020 when he first walked through the door. And folks, I think he's going to continue that role into 2023. Just so everyone's on the same playing field, the star role in the Patriots defense, especially in the defensive backfield, means that you're like a hybrid box safety. You're capable of playing outside linebacker in most of the 4-3 schemes. He did a lot of that in Los Angeles as well, and he's done it as well as anyone. So once again, I project him to play a similar role in 2023. With the emergence of Josh Uche within the pass rush, along with the drafting of Marte Mapu, Adrian is likely going to see a decrease in the number of snaps that he takes at linebacker. It's just the nature of the way the Patriots defense is working. They have bodies now that can take those snaps, and it's going to mean a little less wear and tear on Adrian Phillips. However, when he's deployed within New England's backfield, Phillips is likely going to play close to the box. That's where he's most comfortable. That means he's not going to see too much time splitting out wide or splitting deep. He'll also continue to be a fixture on the Patriots special teams. He's definitely out there directing traffic on all 4 coverage and return units. several times, special teams captain Matthew Slater has praised Adrian for his ability to let people know where they need to be in special teams on the coverage units. And I think that's going to be a huge help once again for the Patriots this year. So Adrian has done pretty much everything that the Pats have wanted him to do in the defensive backfield. His ability to play bigger than the position almost reminds me a little bit of Rodney Harrison when he first came here. And folks, I don't want you to misunderstand me. They're not the same player. I'm not comparing Phillips to Harrison like for like, but there are similarities there. Their styles are different, but Phillips is using the foundation that Harrison set during his days in New England. They're both former Chargers. They're both leaders on the field, and they're both leaders in the locker room as well. And each has his own way of being in the right place at the right time to make the plays they need to make in order to make sure that the Patriots defense is clicking on all cylinders. That's not by happenstance. That is purely by design. And with guys like Adrian Phillips and Kyle Duggar, Jabril Peppers, Jalen Mills, the Patriots core of safeties is ready to help pace this Patriots defense in 2023. Folks, thank you again for joining me today here on the pod. A special shout out to all of you first timers, all of our casual listeners, and of course, an extra special shout out to all of you everydayers, all of you Locked On loyalists out there. Honored, grateful for your support. Anyone who takes time out of your busy schedule to make Locked On Patriots a part of your New England Patriots coverage is someone that is very dear to me. So thank you all, each and every one of you, for your support. And we hope to see you tomorrow here for our cornerback preview, as well as the very latest news from Foxborough. But in the meantime, please continue to stay safe, stay well, and be the change that you wish to see in the world. Have a great day, everyone, and we'll see you again here tomorrow on Locked On Patriots.